Welcome to MS Films. Today we are going to be taking a look at this, the 24mm f2.8 STM Pancake lens. So now I'm going to talk about a few things. I'm going to show you some examples, some video footage, and talk about it a bit. So first, the basics. You can see that it is very tiny. I have nothing really to compare it to. Like, I'm using my 50mm 1.8 to record this review. So there's a piece on the back. This little piece indicates that it's an EFS lens, as well as a little white dot on here. You might not be able to see it. So it will not mount onto a full frame camera. So if you have an APS-C camera like the T3i that I have, or a 70D, the new 7D Mark II, or any of the other Rebels or what Rebels, then you can use this lens. But if you have, like, say, 5D Mark II, 3, or 6D, then no go. Let's look at the build quality. Small, but it is very durable. It's got full-time manual focus, well, sort of, because you actually have to half press the shutter button. Yes, turn it anytime, this focus ring. Extremely smooth. I've found that it travels about 100 degrees. So it also has the STM mechanism. So small, yet they can fit a little autofocus motor in it. What's also amazing about this is that it doesn't cost an absolute fortune. Like, the price of $170 that I paid is actually pretty good value for money. It takes 52mm filters. So filters shouldn't be too expensive for this. So the autofocus is accurate, I've found, but it is quite slow, and it does make a bit of noise. It makes this noise like I could probably use it to censor a certain word. Now, I'm not going to do any durability tests. I'm not Kai from Digital Rev, so let's get into it. So my first test is the sharpness test. This is wide open at f2.8. See that it is quite sharp, but there is quite a fair bit of vignetting. Well, let's drop it down to f4. See that some of the vignetting has cleared up, and it's a little bit sharper, and the depth of field is there. f5.6, there's more depth of field, but I did not really see much in terms of sharpness. And finally f8, there's a lot of noise. I'm not sure if it can be seen on 1080p video, but I'm seeing some difference, but not much. It's quite sharp. There's a chromatic aberration test that I'm going to be doing now. So this picture, I've taken the picture with branches with the sun in the background. Those things, you're basically asking for chromatic aberration if you're going to take a picture of that. But let's see how it performs. This is wide open at f2.8, so you can see that there is some color fringing. The branches have picked up a little color. This is wide open. Remember, I'm pointing this directly at the sun, so it's not surprising. So this is after I've stopped down to f4. As you might be able to see, the chromatic aberration, a lot of it has disappeared. You won't see much difference if you stop down further. I've taken those test shots, and there's not much difference, even like at f11 or f16. Next up, vignetting and distortion. So let's take a look. Here you can see a little bit of barrel distortion, which is completely normal for this kind of focal length. No crop sensor camera. Well, you can usually correct it in editing. So now here's the vignetting at f2.8. Kind of falls gently, and you can use peripheral illumination to get rid of it on your camera. This is after I've stopped down to f4. A lot of it is cleared up, still falls a bit gently, and now at f5.6, most of the vignetting has disappeared. So yeah, I'm gonna take a look at how it works against flare and everything. This lens works okay against bright lights, displays some patterns of flaring. The contrast doesn't really drop too much. The flaring does look nice, well, pretty, but it is technically an issue. And finally, I'm going to take a look at the background blur quality, or bokeh, for those of you that are familiar with Kai. I'm happy to say that the quality of these out of focus backgrounds is really nice and smooth, even with complex backgrounds. But you can see some outlining, and it kind of looks oval shaped from time to time. For example, in this video footage that you're seeing right now. And bear in mind that you'll have to get closer to your subjects to get in out of focus backgrounds. Even complex backgrounds are rendered quite well, and it shouldn't be a problem for you to get close, because this lens can focus down to 16 centimeters. So who would I recommend this lens for? I wouldn't recommend it for full frame users. For them, I'd recommend the 40mm Pancake lens, because it will give the same field of view basically. But if you do shoot on APS-C, I would recommend it if you want a 24mm lens but don't want to shell out the extra money to get the IS version. I'd also recommend it for those who like to take close-up pictures, because this is really nice for that because of its close focusing abilities. And you could even invest in a cheap extension tube so you can get some dramatic macro pictures, even focusing closer than life size. I'd also recommend it just for those who need a general purpose lens, or who want something small and light to carry into their bag, and maybe a selfie or two. Just don't take it when you're that tired. So I highly recommend it to those who want any of the following. But if you have any extra recommendations, then please do let me know in the comments, and I will reply as soon as possible. Thank you.